Next, we're going to ask Art Faro, the acting chief of the Adult Probation Department, to talk about the role that adult probation plays in reentry and what kind of resources are available through probation. What sort of challenges are you facing now?
Thank you, Jeff. And I'd like to thank everyone here for basically inviting the Adult Probation Department system to this forum. As you all know, this 171,000 people that are currently incarcerated in the state prison system has to come from somewhere. Unfortunately, they do come from the adult probation system. Every one of those offenders that go into the state prison system must have a sentencing report conducted on each and every one of them. What troubles me as a probation officer for the last 20 years that those sentencing reports that we've done, even though they contain a lot of meaningful information about that individual, social information, their social status in the community, their family statuses, their economic statuses, their educational statuses. We conduct these reports, they have all this information on there about their literacy issues, their mental health issues, their substance abuse issues, and what can we do about them on a local level. But unfortunately, as the state has seen it fit, what has happened is the probation systems throughout the state, and there are 360,000 people that are on probation in the state today, have seen it fit to fund other systems, other higher levels of systems, and adult systems throughout the state have sat there and suffered. In our department here on a local level, we have 8,500 people that are currently under the jurisdiction of the Adult Probation Department. 2,000 of which receive some type of meaningful services because we have them in domestic violence court, we have them in behavioral health court, we have them in drug court, we have them in under the sex offender management programs, we have them in some of our gang offender programs, we have them in the habitual offender programs, but there's still 6,000 people out there who are just sitting on caseloads of 300 folks on up. Where does reentry fall into that whole process? You see it right there. I don't want to see 6,000 people to be that next wave of people going to the state prison system. And somehow, what we all have to learn and understand is that the local service system here has to deliver some type of meaningful supervision or meaningful services to that group so that they don't become part of that overall system. I'm proud to say that at least on some levels now, with this reentry process, whether it be here on this level, on the county level, or whether it be with the reentry processes with the district attorney, the programs that are being enacted by the sheriff's department, the programs, the meaningful programs that some of the courts are doing, that some of those services are reaching to some people. But it can't just be some people, it's got to be all people. And 6,000 people desperately need some type of services so that we can move them away from that track of going to the state prison system and hopefully make them go into the path of becoming productive people in our communities. So that's one of the challenges we face. And you know, frankly, where it has to be put down to is it has to be put down to that officer that caseload. Meaningful services mean exactly what it means. I need to spend some time with that person in order for me to redirect, reassess, and re-refer this person to services that you all provide out there in the community. Unfortunately, with 300 people on up, I don't know if that's going to be really feasible or possible. But somehow, some impact needs to be driven into that whole equation because, yes, they do come from the local level system. We have to look at providing meaningful services that's pertinent in San Francisco on a local system. And you know, I'll just share with you one story that I had to deal with a gentleman at one time or another. He was on a low type of offense here on probation in our county. He at one time had a union card. He at one time had a track where he was going to become a productive person in society. Unfortunately, he got sidetracked somewhere. So here we are with a person stuck in San Francisco. His union card is null and void because he's back due on his dues that he needed to pay. His tools are in Hawk because he hawked them in the pawn shop somewhere. His training program is in Hayward. And so what do we need to do with that person? Well, what I personally did with that person was get his tools out of Hawk, find some resources to put that person into a much more better situation with his union dues, and then drove him personally all the way out to Hayward so so that person could get the training so he could get his union card filled and provide some kind of venue for him to get it out of the system. Well, that kind of work is what's really needed. That kind of basic work is what's needed with each and every one of these 6,000 individuals. And my hope is that with collaboration from you all along with this reentry process, we could get there. And that's some of the things that we are facing as a probation system.
Thank you.